Hi and welcome to The Business Show. I'm Michael Worthington, and this week we have got a packed show. We got Brodie joining us from Pacific Group. He's going to talk about how you can actually save money, make more profit by outsourcing some of those tasks. So stay tuned for that one. We've got Serval joining us from Ultimate Tax and Advisory, a little bit more than just your average tax agencies. And he's going to be talking about how adding value to customers can actually add value to your business. We've got Franco, Preo, yes, our carpet expert, is in the studio talking about how to repair all those nasty little tears and pulls and spills on your carpet. And we have our family business guy here, Mr. John Broons, and he's going to talk about how to make your family business work for you. So stay tuned. It's a great show coming up right now. Welcome back to The Business Show, and today I've got Brodie from Pacific Group with me. How are you, Bruce?
I'm well, thanks, Michael.
Bruce, we were having a chat, and the reason I asked Bruce to come on the show was we hear a lot about cloud computing and the power of it, but a lot of people would say, well, that's just restricted for the big players, and yet Pacific Group is going, no, we can actually make it actually very accessible and help the smaller business owners reduce their base cost by getting access to this. That's what Pacific Group is generally about.
That's right, Michael. The Pacific Group has been around since 1985, been well established, but in the last probably 2 years there's been a real change in technology associated with cloud technology, which enabled a lot of processes that weren't available to small businesses, were really just confined to the big end of town, made available more to small businesses. And the services that we provide, payroll, HR,
and new accounting
and bookkeeping, now all those services are available to the small end of town.
Yeah. How did you get involved with Pacific Group? What attracted you to the actual group?
I'd been a business owner for a number of years, and I'd experienced the challenges of running my own business, and the opportunity to bring processes that would have helped me in my business to other small businesses was quite attractive. A lot of small business people have challenges with maintaining and managing their payroll and bookkeeping, and the services that the Pacific Group can provide take those processes outside of the business, and we can manage those processes for them, for the business people.
I think what gets exciting, and we hear a lot of times in business, they say make more profit, make more profit. And any good accountant will say, yeah, you can do that, but also if you can reduce your base costs,
yes,
that is actually just putting more profit in your pocket anyway.
That's right.
I think my grandmother used to say, a penny saved is a penny earned.
Yes. Well, it can be quite significant, particularly in payroll. We've had clients that have been able to save tens of thousands of dollars just by looking after their payroll. And the other thing is, with payroll, compliance is becoming quite a significant issue.
And if you get it wrong,
the penalties are quite huge. And there's been a lot of companies that have been caught up by the Fair Work Authority that have been breaching those, and it's quite bad publicity.
Well, I can vouch for that. We were in Perth for our overseas viewers. We were in Perth, Western Australia. And I know there's a certain company down in a little country town, Bunbury, south of Perth here. Very small, only had 3 or 4 employees. And in walked Fair Work. And, well, the company ended up having to shut down because the penalties were so large.
Yes.
They didn't have the money. It was just silly. It was like Fair Work. It was just, I know they've got to protect the workers and they can do this.
Yes.
But that got it wrong, and they said, well, you should have got a professional to help.
That's right. Ignorance is no defence in the court of law about these things. All this is available in the public domain. One of the things that we can offer our clients is that we can give a written guarantee that the that the payroll that we process will be paid according to the employer's award or EBA, because we've got smart software that will process that for us.
What gets me is it's so cost effective for people, and you've had clients now, we're talking a little bit off air about this, as little as 2 people in the business, and they're going, look, for safety's sake, for cost savings sake, it's become, this cloud computing has just made it so accessible. I just want to make the point, down to 2 people, and it's still accessible and still very cost effective.
Yeah, people don't want to be bothered by having to worry about their payroll, even for a small business like that. Right up to multinational companies, they outsource their payroll. It's just a common trend that is progressing through the industry at the moment, and we're taking advantage of that.
And it's the same with HR, isn't it? Before we talked HR, and it used to be the big companies would have a HR and stuff like that. But now, because of this and with Pacific Group, you actually can help people with their HR as well.
That's right. HR is very important, even for a small business. The management of people can be is very expensive. People are an expensive asset, but we need to try and turn them from an expense over to a valuable asset for the company.
Yeah.
And just from hiring of people is very expensive. That's where we can come in and make sure that we're hiring the right person for that business. We go in and get a feel for what sort of business that is. What's the right person? What's the right person to fit in with this group of people? So we spend a lot of time up front in the business, getting to know the business owner before we carry out our process.
Yeah, because I know if you get recruiting wrong, it can be very cost effective. And yet every business owner I have spoken to will say our greatest asset is our people.
Correct.
And most small business owners will say, look, we're like family around here, the people are really important. So having someone who can actually get the right person to join them is incredible. I think one of the common topics, and it's coming even more to the forefront now with small business owners, is the accounting and the bookkeeping.
Yes.
And this can be, I don't know about what your experience is, but I've been in business for a long time myself, and a lot of business owners are very good at what they do, but they're not accountants.
Yes, that's
they're
right.
not bookkeepers. No. They go, I've got to sit up all Sunday or all weekend.
That's right. Yes, you don't go into business to look after your books or all these sort of things. It's an unnecessary burden, and we can take that burden away. But that's another area that we try to do really well, in that we bring our accountants on site, make sure that we're quite familiar and understand how the business works, make sure all our chart of accounts are set up properly, so all the allocation of money in and out is done, so that rather than just having this maze of money coming in, we can make sense of it in a practical, operational sort of sense, not just for a tax reason. So people have real good decision-making tools at the hand for growth and expansion,
and that's what I like. What Pacific Group does there. That was one of the things that attracted me, was the fact that it's normally accounting is historical. You wait to the end of the tax year, you get it done, you go, thanks very much, I got to pay some more, which is terrible, or I get some back, which is great.
Yeah.
But Pacific Group's going, hold on, you have to make decisions in your business. You have to know new equipment you're going to buy, people you're going to employ, the hours, your pricing models, and the way you're running your accounts, by it being in real time because of cloud, we can actually now use it to help us make better business decisions.
That's right. If you're sailing on a tack that is not in a positive growth area, unless you are aware of that direction you're taking, you can't change it into a more better direction. This is the direction we want to go to, and it's looking at your figures, your accounts, that allows you to make that decision. This is the direction we want to go in.
Yeah.
People haven't got. A lot of people just are so consumed in running their business they don't have that time to look at what direction they're going.
No, I know you hear a lot of small business owners talking about the bookkeeping, and it tends to be, I don't know about, well, I'm guilty. It's one of the things you're going to go, I'll do it after hours, or I might do it on a Sunday, or I'll do it on an early Saturday morning. And it just seems to be an afterthought. But with compliance, once again, and bookkeeping, if it's up to date and professionally done, that can be really helpful to your business as well.
Correct. That's right. Yes. The last thing you want is ATO coming in to check on what happened 7 years ago or 5 years ago. Unless your books are all really up to date, tight, accessible, it can be a real problem. And that's where we like to take that burden completely away from people.
If we're summarising Pacific Group, that's basically what you're doing, the areas of HR, the areas of accounting and bookkeeping, and the areas of payroll. You take the burden away from the small business owner.
It is a complete service where we start right from the beginning and go right to the end, and we take full responsibility for that service, so that the business owner does not need to worry or be concerned about that whatsoever. They've still got access to all those services. Being through the cloud, they can access all that technology themselves, but the responsibility is taken over by ourselves, and we take that responsibility very seriously.
Absolutely fantastic. Thank you for joining me on the show. I'd be remiss if I didn't. There's probably people say, well, how do I contact you? What's the best way of contacting you, Bruce?
My mobile phone number is 0466 156 237, or the website is Pacific Group, bpo.com, or my email address is bruce.brodie, BRODIE, @pacificgroup.com.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Bruce is the Business Development Manager here in Perth, Western Australia. So if you've got a question, please feel free to contact you and you can answer all their inquiries.
Fantastic.
Thank you very much. Welcome back to the show, and I'm with Bobby Serval, our Ultimate Tax and Advisory Services.
That's the one.
I don't think it quite describes your service. I mean, Ultimate does, but you do so much more. And I'm fascinated about, you hear a lot of times, and I'd like to just take a bit of time with Bobby, because we hear a lot of times people say, add value to clients. How does an accountant add value to a client? I mean, just do their books.
Exactly. All we do is do your books and look at your numbers. Could be 6 to 9 to 12 months after the financial year has ended, and then you ask us, how's my business going? Well, yep, cool, it was great 12 months ago. Fantastic. No. As you know, Michael, we've spoken in depth about like how we've trying to differentiate ourselves from the traditional accounting model, which is you come see me every 3 months if you're a business owner, or every year if you're a mum and dad tax return, and that's it. Cool, see you later, and we'll see you in the next 3 months, or see you in the next 12 months. So.
And customer demand now is going, well, they're saying to a lot of accounting firms, that's perhaps not quite enough.
Definitely
You're
not.
finding a real trend. People are going, we want people to step up and help us.
Yeah. Well, with us, we're very proactive in terms of meeting with the clients and in before things happen.
Yes.
Yeah, planning before things happen, because fail to plan. What is it?
Fail
Fail
to
to
plan.
Plan, prepare to fail, something like that.
Something
Or plan to fail, that's the one.
if you know what it is, put it in the comments.
Yeah,
below.
please do. But anyway, it's something that we've tried to promote since day one. Since we opened the business, from day one we've gone, how can we give customers more benefit, and how can we create value?
Yeah, and I know you've got, because with Crystal, your wife, she's doing the bookkeeping services.
Wife now, yes, wife.
Now,
yep.
Yeah, you just got married. But the bookkeeping services going to be interesting. Keep an eye on the channel, because you and Crystal are going to be putting up how to do your books properly.
Definitely,
aren't you?
we are. We're going to do a little video series for everyone out there, outlining the 3 major bookkeeping softwares out there, how to use each one, and how easy or how difficult some parts can be, which is where you can do half the stuff yourself and the other half we can do, or you can tackle it all on your own, or none of it and give it all to us for a very small, very low price anyway.
Yeah. And I guess that's adding value again, is helping people understand so they can make well, an informed decision. Can I do this myself, or do I need some help? I think it's fantastic.
All we do with everything, it doesn't matter if it's bookkeeping, it doesn't matter if it's your end of year tax or whatever. We give you the option of as little or as much as you need from us. We, of course, especially with bookkeeping, it's a time consuming factor in your business, which our business motto is saving you time and saving you money so you can spend with your family. Invest in your own personal life and with your family. So be it 3 or 4 hours on a Sunday when you're doing your books, well, geez, I'd rather spend that with my kids or with my wife, or go out see my friends, go visit my parents.
And these educational videos, obviously, they're part of your value package. But you've also identified another area just after the BAS, and you were telling me just off air, and I'm kind of going, that's pretty cool. You want to tell us a little bit about this? Because I think a lot of business owners, whether they do it with you or do it by themselves, this could be a really valuable tool for them.
Definitely. So when the 3 monthly BAS comes around, a lot of people go, oh, geez, I have to pay that much GST or whatever. But they don't realise what's happened in that 3 months. How's my sales gone? How am I at the moment? How am I going to go in the next 3 months? So what we've designed is, for all our business clients, is the opportunity to come and see us couple of weeks after the end of the quarter, or when we finalise their BAS, and which is usually, let's say, a month after the end of the quarter, we'll go, hey, let's meet up. Let's look in depth how you've gone, not just from a numbers perspective, but in a marketing perspective. What have you done to achieve that result? Was it the result that you wanted to achieve? Was it under or lower than what you were expecting? And why did that happen? And what can you do now to make the next 90 days, so the next BAS quarter, more effective for you and your business?
Two great questions there, why, and then the how. So you're looking, so you can analyse it so you get an understanding, but your how, you're very, again, matching your proactiveness, going, no, let's do something about it. Let's put some steps and tools. Is this part of this business coaching stuff that you
It is. It's very similar to what we go with our premium business coaching clients, but we felt, how can we give that to our other clients who are not in that program, or who don't feel that they need it right now? So just these little hints about what we can add value to you and to grow your business, because it's little things which you may be great at your task. You may be a genius carpenter or a genius plumber, but marketing, that's definitely not your favourite task of all. Or learning how to sell, or pricing models, which is what us as accountants we do. How do we price your business, products or services to outline what you want to achieve in the next 3, 6, 12 months?
You know, just when you talk pricing models, I don't know about other people watching, but I know, having on several businesses, pricing models are really important, because you can be selling a lot and still go broke.
Yes. Yep.
I'm sure you've seen this.
Now, well, I want to put my hand up and be real to everyone out there and say, well, it was us. We realised that our initial pricing model was incorrect to the value that we were providing. So at the beginning, we were focusing on generating lots of clients, which, as a starting a business, you've got no fallback plan. That's what you have to do. But then it's almost realising that point, go, okay, what value am I creating? Am I creating value for the lower end price model, or am I charging somebody for a value that is a premium price? So we've met halfway and reevaluate our pricing models and gone, okay, we'll still create value, but still keep it reasonably priced for everyone out there. So definitely, it can happen to us, it can happen to you, and it definitely does. So it's something that a lot of people just sweep under the rug. And go, no, it will get better. But when you're working,
I'll just do more.
I'll just do more. But when you're working 100 hours a week, how can you do more?
We did it here. You know, we, of course, being a YouTube video marketing company, we went on, I call it and it's not my phrase, by the way, it came from a lady called Susan Evans, and we talked about her, but it's a fast path to cash. And basically, you jump in and go, let's just generate some cash flow. And there's nothing wrong with that, as long as you realise that all you're doing is generating some cash flow, pay a few bills, get some clients, as you said, and then talk to someone like yourself and say, okay, I've got this, but this is unsustainable because I actually don't make any money. I've got some money coming in, but it's only to pay bills. And so pricing models are really important. I think it's adds great value. We'll take a quick break and come back with more from Bobby and the Ultimate Tax and Advisory business coaching, value-adding services. Look, if you want to get more customers, you want to grow your business, I think, summarising you, if you want to make more money and get the time to spend it with your family, these are the guys to talk to. We'll be right back. Back to the show, and I'm with Franco Preo from Fresh Air Carpet Cleaning. How are you, Franco?
I'm well, thank you very much. And how about yourself?
Oh, going well, going well. I did have a thing though on the weekend. Somebody was about to replace their carpet because somebody decided what they'd done is they had their doors in the unit, right, and they decided they'd drill a little hole to put a door stop on.
Yep, I can see where this one's going.
And the drill bit caught the carpet.
Yes.
And I love it. It was a straight line, mind you.
Oh yeah. Very, very nice straight line
Very nice
of a very bald piece of carpet.
Exactly. And it came to thinking, you've mentioned before in the past about Fresh Air's ability to be able to repair carpet.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in cases like that, what we can do is actually re-tough the carpet. So I'll go find a little hidden piece of carpet, sometimes under a skirting board or in a built-in robe or something of that nature, where I can scavenge one of the yarns from, and I'll clean that up, and then I can actually re-tuff that into the carpet. So by the time it's finished, it might be a tiny little variation because it is difficult to get 100%, but it'll be to the point where anybody who walks in the room probably wouldn't pick it.
Wow.
So we can re-tuff it, and it's back to the original colour, it's back to the original style, and then, it's not such a tragic event.
But when you re-tuff, do you have to stitch it by hand?
Absolutely, yes. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it can be a little bit challenging at times. A lot of times we do have to use a pair of pliers to be able to pull it through because it can get a little bit stiff. But yeah, it certainly is something that is doable.
And does it depend on the backings? I notice we've talked about carpets and they have various backings on.
Right.
Does it actually depend on the backing whether you can do this or not?
No, well, they're all going to be, in this situation, a tufted carpet. If it was an Axminster or something like that, which is a woven carpet, that's something else again. And we can't really do it so much for those ones there because they're a very different type of construction. I could go into detail for you, but I'd need the pictures and diagrams and things. But I mean, the average carpet in the average house, you'll find that 99% of these days are tufted carpets, so that's fine.
Right. What other types of damage do you come across that people go, oops?
Oops, okay, pets that have gone in and tried to claw themselves out of a room, or just decided that they're going to eat that bit of carpet, which has happened before. Had a dog that just liked gnawing at the carpet. Actually had one dog that liked gnawing at stone, and he actually ate through the stone floor, which is amazing. But anyway, that's another story.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've heard of cats getting stuck in bedrooms and decide they're going to dig them way out.
Well, that's exactly right. And sometimes it's just literally the cats that I had to go to a house where I had to do some re-tufting. The cat that had been in there, the tenant had a cat that just liked to claw at the carpet, and it just had lots and lots of pulls all through the place. So we had to go in and get that sorted out for them.
Is it difficult when it's been and it's not a nice straight line? I can understand a straight line. You're kind of going, okay, but an animal?
Yeah, well, an animal, if they pull the carpet, it's still going to come out in a straight line. Because it's a single yarn that's been tucked into the carpet, so wherever you pull is going to be in the line. So that's always going to be applicable. But I mean, other cases we have where things you might have, the one that's really common are iron burns, where people either don't realise how quickly a carpet will melt, and they decide, rather pull the ironing board out, I'm just going to quickly iron this down on the floor. Does happen, and all of a sudden, put your iron down, and there's a burn mark, particularly on polypropylene carpet that melts at 150 degrees. Right. So it doesn't take much. I mean, you can heat set them, as we said before, just by dragging furniture across them. It gets enough heat. So an iron, it's going to absolutely and utterly melt it. So, or people just dropping it off their ironing table, ironing in the bedroom, drop it down, bang, it's instantaneous, just about.
Wow.
Yeah.
What can you do? I mean, I'm just picturing the shape of an iron now. I know I'm smiling, but I'm thinking, I've ironed things on the floor before in my single days.
We won't talk about them now.
No, who needs an ironing board? How the heck do you repair something that's just physically dropped and melted the carpet?
Okay, well in that case we use what's called a bonded insert. So we literally had to cut that piece out and replace it with another piece. Now, the problem with that is that we need another piece of that same carpet, okay, to be able to put into there So we would normally go chasing into a built-in rope or something of that nature. We can just scavenge a piece out that's out of sight, out of mind, and we swap them.
And put the iron in there.
I'll put the iron burn in there, or if we do have, sometimes you can actually get a piece of carpet that's going to be reasonably close, but that's really hard because by the time you've got a bit of age in there and a different batch, there are quite often variations.
Yep.
Even in this case, if you have one in a major traffic area that's been quite heavily worn, you pull one out of a wardrobe, there's not going to be any sun fading, there's not going to be any foot traffic going over this, so it's going to look different. You do see it. That's unfortunate. In those sorts of situations, but I mean, 9 times out of 10, you'll get a result that looks fantastic, and will basically get you out of trouble, and you don't have to replace a whole carpet.
I know you were telling me one that was it a commercial, and it was quite a big patch, and you went in and went, oh my goodness, and you replaced it, and then someone else came behind you and did something, and it kind of just...
Well, that one there, in that situation there, it was quite a few years ago. There was a fellow that specialised in invisible mending. We had a large bleached mark. And this is going back probably about 20 years ago, and we had a patch of carpet that he got called in to patch in, but it wasn't big enough to cover the mark. So he's done his patch, and with the invisible mending, fantastic. Could not see it at all. And then I just came in and coloured in the balance. By the time I'd finished, no one would be any of the wiser that there was any problem with that carpet.
So, and the reason I brought that one up, because I remember that story, so I can imagine someone in the house may have spilt some bleach or something like that, especially if you got the little kids around, knock something over, not that you may have kids around bleach, but accidents do happen.
Yes, that's right.
You're cleaning. So they may be worried and say, Franco, I've got this, but I haven't got enough carpet to actually do the whole thing. Is fresh air carpet cleaning, you've actually done the invisible mending stuff, haven't you, to put it in there?
At the moment, we haven't done the invisible mending. We can get someone to do it for us, but...
That has to be one of the rare things that you...
But he's also actually retiring, so he's going to be training us up to be able to do that as well. So we'll be one of the few people around that can have that ability to do it still. We can do normal bonded inserts, but he's taken it a step beyond. Okay, so that's the sort of thing that we're going to be putting ourselves up for.
Wow.
So that will hopefully happen within the next couple of months, and we'll be able to take it from there as well. But we still, there's more than one way to skin a cat. Okay, and we can look at it and advise people accordingly as to what can be done and what can't be done. Sometimes it needs a bonded insert, sometimes it's needs recolouring. Sometimes it's cheaper to replace. Whichever way is the most economical is what we then advise and can organise for them. So whether it be a quick touch-up of a small bleach mark or an entire replacement, we can cover the whole lot.
You say like recolouring, I'm just thinking of the bleach mark now. Is it, I'm trying to imagine what recolouring is like. Is it like felt tip texture pens or paint brushes?
Not quite. No, so a lot of people are under the misconception that when it comes to carpet, you can just go over it with a pen or a crayon or something like that, and lo and behold, you've got a colour match. It's not paint. You can't paint over it. What you're doing is you're applying dyes to it, so you've got to mix them to the right colour to be able to achieve the colour that you want. And especially when you have, in the situation of a nylon carpet with bleach on it, bleach yellows nylon fibres. So now you have to work around that colour. You can't then just go, look, this is the original colour mix, and go, bang, put it on the carpet, but now it's going to have a yellow tinge to it. So we've got to adjust accordingly.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not quite as straightforward as that.
And because it is a dye, how do you apply dye to a carpet that's in situ? I can imagine when it goes in the mill and it goes through a wash or they spray it or whatever.
It's called patience. So we actually sit down and have a look at the carpet and judge what sort of colours may be needed to get it back to where it needs to be. Okay, and then apply the dyes accordingly. Sometimes we need to do a little bit of adjustment along the way, but that's fine. It's just we build it up to a colour that is acceptable, and then apply that to the affected area in whichever way, shape, or form we need to. Whether it be just with a dropper, or it could be with a syringe, or it could be a little airbrush, whichever the case may be. Yeah.
And is it? I suppose some people will be looking at, I bet that's really expensive. But you say you actually assess it to start off with.
We've got to make it sure that it's got to be affordable. There's no point in charging someone $500 to fix a stain on a piece of carpet that's only worth $500.
Yeah.
Okay, so if that was the case, we'll say, look, you've already got wear in the carpet. It's going to cost you this much to do that. In fact, by the time it got to $350, $400, I'll be saying, would you consider replacing the carpet instead? Because you get the longevity out of it. You've already got a piece of worn carpet. Is there worth the price to pay to replace it. In a rental situation, yeah, just go ahead, because obviously they want to reduce their costs.
Yeah.
But if it was an owner, I would get them to consider a replacement. So every job's got to be judged on its own merits.
Hi, and welcome back to the show. And I'm with John Broons, the family business guy. How are you, John?
Good, thanks, Mike.
John, get a lot of people that are families in business, and I think one of the biggest questions that I see come up consistently is, how come some families in business just seem to get along and it all seems to work, and other ones, they disintegrate and it turns into a big mess?
Yeah, these things happen. And a lot of people have done a fair bit of research on this to try and work out what it is that breaks the families. And in a lot of cases that I've come across, generally the family dynamics change over time. So as a family that is working hard in their business, a mum or dad together, and the kids come in and they're working early before school and late after school, stuffing envelopes with invoices. Or,
I'm thinking of my kids there, John.
Okay.
Free labour. Free labour.
Yeah, and that's how some of these businesses start.
Yeah.
When they grow and the kids have this emotional connection to the business, if there's more than one kid, there's, okay, we've got to share it round maybe, and the business will grow, people will come in, employees. Sometimes the kids get sidelined, they'll go to school, they'll get an education, and they may or may not come to the business. And when they come to the business, what are the rules about coming into the business? What are the rules about leaving the business? Have we had these conversations?
That one you said there, I don't want to interrupt your flow, but the rules on leaving the business, that's an interesting one. I mean, we see that in business partnerships. If me and you went into business, we'd have those rules.
If we had a partnership agreement, there would be some sort of conversation we will have expected to have had.
Yeah.
Not everybody does that.
No. Well, yeah, probably. But in business, I was always taught, you go into business partnership, you've got to have entry rules, you've got to have exit rules.
Yeah. Well,
and you're saying this applies to family.
Of course it applies to family. If you're... we're going off topic. So
yeah, sorry.
Here we go, just to follow this particular train. If you've got a son or a daughter who comes in and spends time in the business, and you say, listen, it's one particular example where a son had finished a job for a period of years. Dad says, why don't you come in to help me for 3 months? And 15 months later, when I asked the question of the son, so have you got a contract? And no. I said, so was there a conversation about how you come into the business? No. I said, so do you feel the salary's fair? And Dad's sitting next to him and Mum's sitting next to him. And it's like, no. I said, so what happens if you want to leave? Shrugging of shoulders and looking at Dad and no comment. And I said, well, there's no contract, is there? But if you have employees who are hired by skills or for a particular purpose that are unskilled, it doesn't matter. They will be under an award, or they will have a contract and hire dates and fire dates and what you can do and what you can't do, what they can do, what they can't do. So why shouldn't that also stick with families?
Excellent. It just caught me, and I know we're talking about families that succeed and don't succeed, but just when you just mentioned that, then it was just like, it was one of the moments of going, it's like, is it the blinding flash of the obvious, some people say?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
That we don't see.
Family, or people that will hire family members, in some cases come and give us a hand for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And it gets to be a couple of months, and then it can be a couple of years. And sometimes it's a very long time, and you've missed your chance to think about, gee, I should have gone out and done something else with my life.
Yeah.
And some people will say, well, it's your fault.
Oh.
They don't take ownership. So we have those sorts of problems that do pop up sometimes, where people have given many, many years of service and they feel they've been dudded, especially when the business gets sold.
Oh.
And then where's my share?
Oh,
Your share?
yeah.
Well, I've put in just as much as you, and you're my brother. You might own it, but Mum and Dad left it to both of us, didn't they? So where's the shares, and where's the agreement, and where are the conversations?
Ouch. So getting back, because I'm dragging you off topic.
No, that was actually back on the topic. Why do they come? Yeah.
And this is part of these dynamics you're talking about.
Yeah.
Wow. So we've got to this stage, and is this what you're saying starts to disintegrate? Is it almost, I hate to use the word lack of trust, but is it because the things aren't discussed that certain members of the family don't know where they fit properly? It's kind of it's always...
You have to have a conversation about why you're being hired,
Right.
in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'd like to have a contract about the work that I'm doing. And that at least gives me some understanding of how long I'm expected to be there. Is it a 1-year contract? Is it a 5-year contract? Is it a never-ending contract? If I want to leave, I need to be in control of me, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The business needs to be under the control of those people leading the business.
Yeah.
So if I join in and I actually want to jump on the train and go on the train of the business, great. But I also need to know how to get off the train. And if the train driver says, no, I don't like you, I need to know how to exit you. So that is part of it. Then you've got so many other parts that will come to play. You need to know who you are. Those conversations are important. The business needs to know what it is. But the family, which is even something that's different again from the train of the business, okay? The family needs to know what it stands for. Do we really want to be here for the next 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, 100 years? And if so, what does it look like? Because we need to know how to handle change of the environment, change of the economy, change of the location, change of the product, change of the customer, change of the supplier, change of the government. In 100 years, a lot can happen. So we need to be able to have these conversations, and if we don't have them somewhere along the way, we as an individual, I can be challenged. As a family, I can be challenged. And as a business, I can be challenged.
So when you consult with families that are in business, as well as helping them get these structures and these conversations happening, are you also then constructing it so they know how to continue these conversations? So through the changes in environment, through government, through customers, it becomes part of their organisation.
Ideally, the family will grow, the individual grows, the business will grow. The business already has a structure. Okay, in most cases, you start off as a small trader, you might become a partnership, you might become incorporated, and sometimes you can go public. The fact is the business has a path, and they grow, and they have structures, and they have processes and procedures. What I try and help families do is have some of that processes and procedures around what they do, and understand what ownership means, and how that will have effect on processes and procedures. And in the ownership thing, we have what's called a board of directors, quite possibly, as the business professionalises and gets bigger. So we need to understand how that works as well.
Thanks for joining us on this week's show, and a big thank you to our special guest, which was Bruce, Bobby, Franco and John Broons, the Family Business Guy. Look, below the video I'll put a link to all their different channels for you, so if you want to follow up and get some more information on them, you can. And until next time, I'm Michael Worthington. Take care.